Shoot, man.
Facts.
Man, let's jump on in it.
Jump right into it. Steph Curry possibly being on the trade block. Supposedly, there are sources out there that the front office and Steph Curry are not on the same playing field when it comes to recruiting talent for the Golden State Warriors. The latest person they was trying to recruit was LeBron James, supposedly. Obviously, LeBron didn't sign with them. He signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. But it's the idea that you have a superstar in Steph Curry and you are already looking to build for the future. Now, I'll say this. Is it bad that they're already trying to build for the future? No. Because you need, you have to keep up with how the game is going.
Absolutely.
And so you have to build for the future. Is it unfortunate for Steph Curry? Yes, it is unfortunate for Steph Curry, but we're living in an era that there is no loyalty to a franchise anymore. There really isn't. Even the greatest player that's ever played the game had to eventually leave, and that was Michael Jordan. He went to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no shame in that. But this is what I do like. Are you ready for this?
What's that?
There's been possible reports that Steph Curry may end up being a San Antonio Spur or a Miami Heat.
I hear that.
San Antonio Spur, Miami Heat, and then I've also seen a Boston Celtics. Now, let's talk about where would be the best fit for Steph Curry. I honestly would hate to break up what the Spurs have right now. Because ideally you would say, well, why don't you just trade Steph Curry for De'Aaron Fox if it was only that easy? I know for a fact that the Golden State Warriors ain't going that easy. They're going to ask for a lot more than just De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Stephon Castle going to have to be on there. Are you willing to let go of a Stephon Castle who not only was getting better as the season was on?
Yeah.
I believe he's in the second season. And he just grew 2 more inches this offseason. It's like, why does that matter? Because most guards in the league now, they're like 6'5" plus.
Absolutely.
And so if he was already, at 6'6", that means that technically he is 6'8". So it's going to be hard to just...
Playing like that.
So it's going to be hard to just be like, oh, okay, we're going to let him go. Now, would you do Steph Curry or would you trade De'Aaron Fox and what? Vassell? It's still going to take more than that. It's going to take some future first round picks, and it's going to take a lot of them. It's probably going to take 3 or 4 future first round picks, and they all going to be 28, 29, 30, and 31 as far as the years. So can the Spurs afford it? Yes, they can. Why? Because the team is that young.
Yeah.
Their team is that young. And so if you do De'Aaron Fox plus 4 future first round draft picks for Steph Curry, I'd shake on it. So that's option number 1. Now, what about the Heat? Well, I don't know what the Heat can offer the Golden State Warriors because they have already did so much for Giannis. But as far as an actual fit, it would be nice to see Giannis, Bam, and Steph still keep Davion Mitchell. You know what I mean? That's just another guard that's there, that's solid. You probably have to give up an Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that would be great. Boston. No, I don't like it. I mean, you probably have to give up White at point guard, you know what I mean, for Steph, and obviously some more future picks. But would that be a good fit for him with Paul George? No, you'd make your team older with Paul George. And that's no disrespect, but it's just facts. You'd make the team a little bit older if you had Paul George and Steph to go with JT. Because now you're asking for Paul George and Steph to not only do so much on offense, but a lot on defense. And so Jaylen Brown, he carries so much weight from the defensive perspective to put his team in a better position through transition, rebounding, and just being a shutdown guard. You know what I mean? So it's just different. A shutdown defender is what I mean. Yeah. So to be able to have that type of player, it's going to take a lot, but you're going to need some young legs to do that because it's no disrespect, not because Steph Curry and Paul George ain't talented. No, they still talented. It's just that it is an 82 regular season type of game, not to mention playoffs. So unless you're putting yourself in a position where you're blowing out teams and you get to sit down every 4th quarter, then you're going to have a chance, but you're going to need more bodies. We are in the 2020 era of basketball where there's so much talent at guard that you are going to need a lot of bodies just because there is so much running now.
Mhm.
So much running up and down the floor. There's no teams that are old school where they're walking the ball up the court and running the offense.
Mhm.
And then during transition, there's no fast breaks. There's constant fast breaks. It's just that the speed of the game is so much faster. That's why it's driven by a lot of guards because those bigs run up and down the court. They'll be gassed before they even get the basketball.
Well, they can't play a lot longer than 25 minutes. If you get one that can, then they can make a significant impact into the game. Jokic is one of those guys. That's why he makes such an impact for Denver. But now I was looking up on here, trying to see who the available free agents are, and it ain't just a long list. I mean, those teams that are holding out for LeBron, kind of put themselves in a position. But speaking of Golden State and Steph Curry, honestly, I don't think he goes anywhere. I don't think Steph is one of those type of guys. I think he wants to be maybe the one, if not only, guy that ends it with the team that he started with. He's kind of on that trajectory. But once again, they have all new ownership. And Steve Kerr's not going to be there for a long haul. And Draymond Green is opted out. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they can do. There's still some remaining free agents. You got Clay is out there. You got Jalen Duren, but we all expect him to go back to Detroit. Who else? You got DeMar DeRozan. So, I mean, I don't know what they can do significantly to, change his mind and make him feel warm and fuzzy about staying. So it's like if he wasn't going to leave pre-LeBron news, what makes us think he's going to leave just because LeBron opted? That was a random. LeBron could have re-signed with the Lakers. It was random. Steph it wasn't like it was a decaying relationship and they had issues. And, before LeBron news and he was on the fringe and then this was pending. If he gets it, Steph will stay. LeBron was icing on the cake. It was kind of shoot with LeBron too, man. Now y'all immediately, boom, take a big step. But I don't think he goes anywhere. Now, if he does, I think that's exciting for basketball.
LaMelo didn't want to go anywhere.
You ain't lying.
Let him go.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we've seen it. And if they can get a big package for Steph, who says they don't ship him out? It's a new ownership. If they just see things crumbling down, but I mean, I don't think you sign Al Horford. I don't think you sign a Porzingis. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think you sign those guys to a long-term deal or an extension if you don't plan on investing in Steph. I think those are guys that you let walk and you get some young talent in there if you're looking at restarting, you know what I mean? I don't think you sign those guys. Those guys are kind of the unction, you know what I mean? You're trying to keep some experience going so y'all can win right now. I think if anything, it's just going to piss Steph off. I think if anything, if they don't trade him, I think it's just going to piss him off. And I think we're going to see how he operates when he's actually locked in. And he's always locked in, but we see some years when he gets pissed off. And you can tell it's a chip on his shoulder. And a lot of times they get close to winning the championship if not winning it those years. So I think if anything, it's just more pressure on him. And I think he shines bright with that pressure. So I think it's going to piss him off. I think he's going to be fine then. You ain't going to give me nobody? Fine. This how y'all want it? Fine. Fine. Because now if I can do it, it's that much more legendary. Now if I do it, it means something to me. So now it makes number 5 mean something. Versus, we just trying to stack rings. It's no. I got enough adversity on me now. I'm trying to prove something. I'm trying to take out the Monstars. Is it realistic? I don't know. Should he just go to San Antonio? Yeah. I mean, make us all, basketball fans oh, snap. That would be crazy if he went to San Antonio.
It seems like it's already a villain style of an offseason for the NBA.
But I mean, hey, you got Minnesota too. I can see him wanting to go somewhere that's youth and that's not established, but has a lot of talent. Because I don't think Steph is out of juice. I think he'll probably want to go somewhere that's not 5 years.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What if the Spurs, because there has been reports the Spurs are very, very, they've been sniffing around Golden State.
Yeah.
Sniffing around, they realize, hold on, what's that? And so they looking at, okay, they looking at a solid guard who's going to bring leadership,
Yep.
who has plenty of juice left in the tank, who possibly if he goes to the Spurs, I'm not gonna even say. Let me ask you: if Steph Curry goes to Spurs, how many rings is he gonna get? How many rings is he gonna get?
At least 2 more.
So he's gonna get 6 rings, which means he'd be tied with Michael Jordan, right?
At least 2 more.
Would that put him in the GOAT conversation as the best player ever?
Oof. Yeah. You have to. You have to.
So
Immediately. You're talking about another big 4.
Do you know what would be nasty?
I don't think he's knocking anybody out, but I think he's definitely in there. I think you got your top 4 solidified then.
Could you imagine?
Mike, Kobe, Bron, and Steph. I think it's solidified.
Now here's the thing. Could you imagine if like he goes to the Spurs, Spurs get to the Western Conference Finals, Spurs get to the finals, Philadelphia gets to the Eastern Conference Finals, Philly get to the finals.
Yeah.
Steph versus LeBron on 2 different teams?
Absolutely. I can totally see that happen.
Battle of the 5th ring?
It's exciting.
What?
Battle of the 5th ring. Wow.
Battle of the 5th ring.
That's exciting. That would be a resurgence of the rivalry.
Because I feel like, honestly, that's the reason why LeBron didn't want to go to Golden State, even though he was right down the street there. Low key, I think he's still battling Steph Curry when it comes to who's going to get that 5th one.
Yes. And
because we can't share it.
You can't share it, and competitively, who knows what actually factors into people making the ultimate decision. I'm right there with you. That can be a big determining factor. But we don't expect him to go team up with one of his top contending, peers. So him not going is not like I think he's running from Steph. I think we almost look at him going as a sign that he's just a different breed of competitor. Because most ferocious competitors that we see, they don't want to be buddy and team up with too many cats. You know what I mean? Especially not somebody that had to go really head to head with. They're being done, but not often you see it. So I think more of anything, it was like, okay, well, it'd be fun to watch for basketball. I'm glad Bron is friendly. You know what I mean? And it's cool, but I don't know. You right though. It might have been something in there. He was like, nah. I think it's in there. I think
Deep down?
Yeah, deep down for sure. I think he's just one of those competitors that can make it work for the sake of basketball, being basketball and having fun and having mutual respect. But I think deep down, there's still your individual legacy. And you will have to share the back end of it with Steph. Honestly. You'll have to. Y'all will forever be tied now with your legacies.
Can you see Draymond going to Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah. I've seen crazier things happen. I can see that.
And
I don't know where he fit. Who they're going to get for him? One of them young. Who they'll get? Who they want for Draymond? How do you plug a Draymond hole?
That's a good question. Philly looks like they're all chips in. They kind of also are in that category of F them picks. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, look, we'll give you any of the future first or second round picks to win championships now, because that's just going to replace those championships, because we really truly believe that we have enough ammo. I think about Anthony Simons, a baby Damian Lillard, been groomed by him out there in Portland. VJ Edgecombe,
for sure.
Such a young, promising guard that was just like Dylan Harper that came out the gates ready to rock and roll last year. Then obviously you got Tyrese Maxey. Obviously you got Jaylen Brown. But this is what I'm thinking about. It's a guard-driven league. You got 3 solid guards in Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown. That's already in the starting lineup.
Yep.
You got Anthony Simons that's coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of guard pool that's rolling. But you also have 4 facilitators from the starters. Mm-hmm. So what you mean? Really like 4 point guards. Here's the only thing about, and what I mean by that is Tyrese Maxey, LeBron, VJ Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown.
And
Embiid. But I'm looking at, he can facilitate, so you got 5, so they all can contribute, but 4 of them can come up the floor with that basketball.
That's true.
So now what I'm looking at is there's a lot of alpha, because everybody outside of VJ Edgecombe can kind of back down a little bit, just because they've all been dropping 20 points a game plus.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey's been like, look, Embiid or no Embiid, I'm still going to get mine. Mm-hmm. Jaylen Brown was out like, well, I was getting mine no matter if JT was out there in Boston for us or not. I'm still going to get mine. Joel Embiid is like, well, shoot, I've been doing this when I've been here. I am like literally the big ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm the ticket to our paradise that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And LeBron's like, well, I've been doing this, but I've learned how to submit. But at the same time, last year I did that, and then I still had to play 40-plus minutes in the playoffs and knock off the Houston Rockets. So I don't know if I can trust anybody at this point. But
that might be a real thing.
So now what I'm looking at is the leadership. Who is going to listen to the command? Obviously, it's like, well, of course, LeBron. Well, yeah, but they're going to be looking at this old lines and new lines.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's like, it's going to probably take about 20 to 30 games of ego control for them to kind of officially lock in and figure out what type of basketball team they got. On paper, best team ever assembled. But outside of that, now we got to see who's willing to be the spokesman and allow for everyone else to fall in line. We want it to be LeBron. It should be LeBron. They know it should be LeBron. But in a game, it's still like, what have you done for me lately? Not what you used to do. So LeBron is going to have to remind them probably the first 20, 30 games of who he is to develop that true leadership role, because I can see Joel Embiid coming out like, I need the basketball. Jaylen Brown, I need the basketball. Tyrese Maxey, I need the basketball. But we just got to just see how it's going to play out. Because like I said, in a game, competitive game, it's tough when you used to having that basketball. Who can really be that closer? Is it going to be off? And that's where I'm curious to see how Nick Nurse is going to put these players in the best position. Because I've seen him do it when Kawhi was there, but when Kawhi was with Toronto and he was the head coach. But Kawhi was unanimously the dog. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But this one is a little bit tricky because you got 4 All-Stars. So I'm curious to see how it's going to be. They always talk about trust of the process. Can Joel Embiid trust the process of being on the back end and just being like, hey, you know what? If y'all need me, I'm here. I'm ready. But, I need to preserve myself. I know LeBron can trust the process. Tyrese Maxey, I feel like he can do it too. Jaylen Brown's the one. Not because he doesn't have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He got all of that. It's just the fact that when you're used to being in the top, how can you handle these type of situations?
Yeah.
It's going to be new to him because it's a new team. LeBron's, he's been there. He's been on new teams, so he knows how it is. But those two, I'm curious to see outside of the talent, how they truly gel with chemistry. It is going to be exciting because that's a lot of firepower Philadelphia 76ers got, bro. It is. I just want to see if they can fall in line whenever they go against teams where, hey, everybody's is getting BTA, belt to ass, and it's like, okay, how can we stay together without individualizing ourselves to show that we are the one that needs to be getting the basketball in clutch situations?
Yeah.
Because they got so much talent, they may have to pick and choose through a play call to see who can get the clutch, not just, oh, Tyrese Maxey will get this. It's going to have to be matchups. Mm-hmm. So now since I've talked it out, I will say this. I feel like LeBron's going to be able to help out when it comes to who really needs the basketball in clutch situations, depending on the team they play. Because it may have to come down to matchups. I mean, you have somebody as fast as Tyrese Maxey. He's like a De'Aaron Fox on steroids out there. How fast and explosive he is. So, I mean, maybe situations and games are like, well, look, you got the better situation, Tyrese. Go ahead and close this out. Then maybe time Jaylen Brown, hey, you got the better matchup. Go ahead and close this out. I think they got 5 closers. 5 closers. When I think about, because Tyrese, VJ, Jaylen, LeBron, and Joel Embiid. Because there may be times where they may call on that young gun too. Be like, hey, VJ, you see who guarding you?
Absolutely. Go get a bucket.
Go get a bucket, bro.
If you're going to be out here, you got to go get a bucket too. And I think he's capable of doing that. I mean, that's what makes him so dangerous, is because even there, what you would call the weaker link, which would be the youngster on that front 5, he still, you know what I mean? He still come with it. He still knows how to play at a high level. He can go get a bucket, and he's promising. You know what I'm saying? So they really don't have any gap. They got good depth as well. I think it's exactly what you said. They're going to have to. It's a good position to be in. I think that's exciting. Is to be in the position to where, depending on what it is that you're up against, depends on what's the best tool to use for that moment. You know what I mean? What's the best weapon for that moment? Whatever you're trying to do. Trying to go over here, you trying to do this, boom, we got this weapon, this tool is best for over here. You going over here, each team is assembled different, they got different strengths and weaknesses, and you have to be kind of dominantly balanced in that regard. That's what we see the best teams are. They're dominantly balanced. They're dominant across the board, but they're still balanced in its sense of strengths and weaknesses. You got the bigs that are the bigs, but they're at the highest level of the big. You got the backcourt, but they're at the high level of the backcourt. So I think depending on the matchup, depending on the other team's strengths, you do switch it up. If you got a big that's a strong defender that's kind of going to have Embiid's going to have a long day, the benefit of having a stacked team is Embiid is not your only option. So normally when a team think they got your number because we got an answer for Embiid, it's like, well, okay, good for you. We've been waiting for a reason to get Jalen going. We've been needing a reason to get him a game. So thanks. Jalen, it's your green light. Oh, they happen to have a good wing as a good defender too? You know what I mean? You playing Minnesota? All right, well, VJ, you got a ball today. You got the weakest link defender on ours. You got to go off. We've been waiting. You know what I mean? It's such a good position to be in to need a reason to get the other guys a green light to be aggressive. You have that much talent. You know what I mean? And so it's just going to come down to if those guys can be patient. And I think that'll probably be a benefit of having LeBron James there to lead by example in that regard. I think being the NBA scoring leader, you're not really chasing anything else as far as scoring and putting points up.
Ain't nobody gonna
you're
catch
just
that.
extending the stretch anyways, and you're not signing like a 1-year deal, so you're going to continue to play. So I think right now, having fun and winning games, this is priority. And I think wherever he can fit in to be the missing gel to make everything flow and come together, I think that's exactly what he views himself as. I don't think when he was selecting a team, he was like, oh, they're going to conflict with me. I think he's looking at it like, I understand the game of basketball. I know how to play every position. Where can I go that I know we have what it takes? Because I know what I'm going to bring. I'm going to make all that stuff work together. He's been doing that without all-star lineups.
That's what's scary.
And when he has an all-star lineup, we see what it results in a championship. So he's maestro without an all-star lineup. So I think he's looking like, oh, everybody's still relatively young and they're all talented. They just don't know how to win yet. I'll bet. Anything I know how to do is win a game, is win a championship. Let me come over there and show them how we do it. Show them. So I think he's going to be a nice addition to the coaching staff. You're going to have the coaching staff, but then you're going to have his wisdom and experience. And if he's willing to lead, I think he might. I can see him having like 15, 10, and 12 on the average. I think he's going to have more assists than anything else.
That's a dangerous triple-double that you just brought out. 15, 10, and 12?
I can see that being.
I can definitely see it too.
Averaging a triple-double this season or something crazy like that. Like, he's still LeBron James. But I think it's going to be, he's probably also looked at that. Like, what team in all scenarios will I be so pressured to have to score or be the scoring leader? You know what I mean? Do I have to, if I'm not feeling it? And you got to have depth in the scoring department. Like, boom, if I go down and you go down, we still have an yeah. They got weapons across the board. When it comes to scoring, they're good.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They can put more defense on the court and maintain that after like the first half of the first quarter. You probably see that starting lineup, and then they'll be playing, two scoring out there at a time with some defenders or something like that. Defense dominant, whatever. But he don't have to score. I can still see that 15, 10, and 12. Averaging, boom, facilitator. Easy money, making it easier for everybody else. And that's kind of what the true nature of his game he likes to talk about. Like, my true nature is like being a pass first guy and being a facilitator, like everybody else is shine. And it's just kind of, it's poetic. The fact that now at the back end of his career, he's able to position himself maybe to go back to doing what brought him to the game in the first place. That Magic Johnson type of a bag. He's just so gifted and he knows how to score at a high clip that he can do both. He can score and facilitate. He's done his whole career. But maybe now he might show you, okay, I'm averaging triple doubles. I'm going to get 15 assists in a game. You know what I mean?
Mess around, lead
looking like Magic Johnson out there having fun and making the other guys have a good time. They ain't got to do all that. So We'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice,
It's
dog.
gonna be fun.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
You feel me?
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning, dog.
How you feeling?
Shoot, man, pretty good actually. Pretty good.
Man, it's
Slept
great.
good. It's been a great weekend,
Absolutely.
and we are slowly getting closer to consistent football for the rest of the year, almost.
Exciting times.
Yes,
Exciting times.
yes. I've been keeping up with them Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
Been
man.
keeping up with Shador. I think he went 8 for 16. They're in pass today. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
8 for 16. He had two tubs. Deshaun Watson he went 13 for 25. No
Mhm.
TDs, no interceptions, which is good for him. I think Dylan Gabriel, forgot where I was seeing that. I think Dylan Gabriel went 7 for 12. And then they also got Green, that quarterback from Arkansas. That's also there too.
Oh, nice.
He gets a couple of snaps, like 2 or 3 snaps. You know, he's not quite in the rotation right now. But this is what I like. I like the consistency of Shador right now. The consistency has been showing that he's going to complete at least 70 to 80% of his passes. Now, granted, today it was just 50% because he went 8 for 16. But tallying it up from all the other practices they've had, he's been extremely consistent with only 1 pick. Now, when you think about like individual team activities, 11-on-11, 7-on-7s, all that good stuff, to only throw 1 pick tells me a lot about him being locked in and focused.
Absolutely.
You know, outside of that, I mean, I know his counterpart with Deshaun, he done had about 6 picks. But, you know, it's hard to tell what you're really looking at if you're not really there. So I don't know really how everything has been. But if we're going off just straight up numbers and statistics, it looks like Shador is leading the way, even though I hate for them to even say that he's leading the way. It would be nice for them to go ahead and allow for him to kind of groom with the rest of these young rooks, these young talented players. Because I feel like Shador, it seems like he's really made the team feel like, hey, we're a team.
Yep.
Like we're building for something. We're not just doing something just to be doing it. Like we're not just playing this season just to look forward to who we're gonna get next year. It looks like everyone is bought in. Like the head coach is bought in. Tom Monken is bought in about, hey, look, like your play will determine if you play. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like keeping it 1,000, no favoritism.
So there's no question about favoritism.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of stuff where you can build a championship team. You can build a team chemistry oriented team. Whenever it's like the best players play. There's no politics in that. So how they decipher that when it comes from receivers, offensive linemen, tight ends, D-line, defensive side of the ball in the secondary, linebackers. I mean, all that stuff's going to play a role when it comes to how you play. Will determine if you actually play. So may the best talent play, but most importantly, may the best players with the most consistency actually play. Because that's literally how you're going to win games. But you know what? For them to have, I think it was like yesterday, I believe that defense had about 5 turnovers created. They had 3 picks from Shador. 3 picks from Deshaun, 1 pick from Shador, and I think the other one came from Dylan Gabriel. But what I'm looking at is that defense can create 5 interceptions. Defense must be pretty good. I mean, not saying that, you know, they missing a Myles Garrett, but you got to think that defense was still pretty good in the secondary. They still had some pretty good defensive linemen outside of Myles Garrett, clearly.
Well, they locked up their cornerback for a while.
That Denzel Ward?
Yeah, I think Denzel Ward a good deal for him. They look good. I mean, I think they're keeping the competition alive. I mean, it makes sense. I like that a style. I think Todd Monken, when he came in, he showed where he's kind of leaning. You know what I mean? But he also showed a fairness that we didn't see from the Cleveland Browns, which is just let everybody compete, put the best talent out on the field. If you're out there, it's because you're the best, and there's no question about it. We're not going to try to hold you back and all this other type of stuff. Like, no. You're going to prove it. You're going to be in a competition the whole way through, and whoever's got the best numbers consistently leading up into the preseason is going to get the first team reps, and you can battle it out from there. Now, if any time that changes and switches and that performance gears, boom, we're willing to allow the best man to step forward and prove it on the field. So I like to see that. I liked to see what I saw towards those games towards the end of last season. They showed a lot of promise. I don't think Cleveland needs much at quarterback. I think if If Deshaun Watson plays like Deshaun Watson, I think they win a lot of games. I think if Shador Sanders plays like the Shador Sanders that a lot of his fans know him to be and expect what type of performance we expect out of him, I think they're going to win a lot of games. I think whoever edges each other out, whether Shador wins out in the battle, which I think he will, and Deshaun gets a year to be kind of that veteran back, and that vocal presence, I think Deshaun will probably, his attitude, demeanor will take it well. I think that'll be a good 1-2 tandem. You're going to need a good talent at that second slot. You're going to need it. Every team in the NFL right now needs to be too solid deep at quarterback. Not one is great, another one is just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Just get out there, placeholder. Like, no. We've seen, based on these injuries and based on how physical the sport is, how fast it is. These guys are bigger and faster than they've ever been. Like, you're going to need to be deep at positions because guys are going to get hurt. You're going to need 2-3 games of recovery. You're going to have somebody to come in there and not let the momentum completely tank to the floor. So I think Shador wins it out. I think Deshaun will be poised to be a good backup. You know, if that's flipped, whatever, for whatever reason, and Deshaun goes out there, I just want to see good play, man. They're one of those teams where they've been down for a long time, been trying to do good things, been getting top picks at that position for a long time, and they just need a little something. If the quarterback play give them a little something, and I'm a Shador fan, I mean, I think he'll give them a lot of something, right? But I just understand how it goes right now in the with the media and with the fans across the world. It's kind of divided. You know, so I'm excited to see him get out there and show what he has and like prove it. You know what I mean? I'm excited for that because I got hope, I got faith in him. You know what I mean? But the NFL is kind of popping off. I'm excited for the next few weeks. You know, just getting back to football. But I know we got some basketball news. I know you mentioned Steph to Boston. You got any more insight on that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of reports about Steph possibly going out there to Boston because I heard Brad Stevens has some serious assets that Golden State would actually like to acquire. And so my thing is, well, it looks like Golden State is not necessarily trying to do anything, to help Steph out. Now, granted, he has all the respect in the world. All the respect in the world with the Warriors organization. The Warriors love him and stuff like that. But they've already been talking about how they're looking for the future. They're already building for the future. We don't mind running it back with a 37-win team. What is that telling me? We're looking to get a lottery pick. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. He's like, oh, well, shoot. If we can't necessarily say that we were going to let you go because of everything that you've done for the organization, especially with you and Dre, then we're just going to let y'all play it out. And we already know we probably won't be winning that much because we're too old and we don't have enough talent on the team as of right now. So therefore, at least we can get a draft pick or maybe possibly luck into a lottery pick and get ourselves a top NBA player for the next 1 or 2 seasons coming up, just depending on how things go and depending on how long they would stay. But if the Boston is actually trying to do that and they're actually like, hey, you know what, we'll go ahead and take Steph off of you and we'll give you, a couple of future first-round draft picks, something like that. I absolutely love that.
Looks like I saw Paul George, Sam Hauser, 2 first-round picks.
I absolutely would love that. And it's only because it's like, look, man, Steph has done so much for the league. He has completely revolutionized the league when it comes to how you see a point guard and where they can actually shoot the basketball and how they can really be a threat. And so what I'm looking at with this, if you pair him up with JT and you can keep Derek White too, I like that because we are in a guard-driven league anyway. And so if you can have a certified shooter like that, that's going to take so much stress off of Jason Tatum. And while Jason Tatum's in the prime stages of his career right now, there is no rebuild. It is now for the next 4 or 5 years. It's like, how can we win now? How can we win now? How can we win now? When Jaylen Brown left, I can honestly say you have to look at it like that is a big chunk that's out of Boston. I was saying earlier, that's at least 6% of good basketball that's gone with Jaylen Brown being gone.
Absolutely.
So now you're going to have to replace that 60%. And the reason why I say 60 instead of 50 and make it 50-50 with Jason Tatum, because the majority of the season he wasn't even playing. And they still was number 2 coming out the East. Now, without no JB now, you take a lot of your defense out of there. A lot of playmaking ability is gone. Well, you got to at least replace that playmaking ability. And that's where Steph Curry come in and be. You can get Steph in that type of offense. That'd be really dangerous. Where they probably could possibly still come out 2 or 3 in the East. So I mean, you got to do something. And while you still have arguably the best shooter in the NBA now, and he's still in his bag like that, you got to strike the iron while it's hot. So if it does happen, I honestly wouldn't feel bad for Golden State. And I would really love that for Steph, even though it'd be weird seeing him in all green. I ain't gonna lie to you. It'd be so weird seeing him in all green. Yeah. But it will complete the villain NBA offseason.
It's been a villain offseason.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a villain offseason.
Outside of Kawhi. But
getting flipped, yeah.
Everybody has flipped. Like, you can call it the Jalen Brunson effect, the New York Knicks effect, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But as far as it being a complete villain season, and we was playing NBA 2K and there was a level of villain season, yeah, all the superstars that are on the teams they are right now wouldn't be on their teams. Giannis, gone. You see what I'm saying? Jaylen Brown, gone. LeBron, gone. Ja Morant, gone. And it's so funny because out of all these people, I'm surprised no one tried to get Zion, but that's another story for another day. Because what is New Orleans doing? But I'm just saying. So I'm surprised. I'm surprised like no one has knocked on the door and just asked about Zion.
That is surprising.
You know, Trae Young gone. You know what I'm saying? AD gone. So everybody literally is on a different team. LaMelo. I mean, shoot, there's a lot that's going on out there. So it wouldn't be weird all the way. It would just complete the villain NBA offseason if Steph ends up leaving. And my thing is, it seems like it's still possibly possible. Draymond Green literally just signed his $29 million contract, right?
Mm-hmm. 1 year.
So you telling me Steph ain't signed nothing yet? Why? Is it because he doesn't want to sign anything? Or is it because Golden State really is hearing some offers for Steph Curry? That's where it comes down to.
This is true. I don't know. I don't personally think Steph is going anywhere. I like the speculation. I mean, if you speculate, what else you gonna speculate? I heard some other names in there. I like seeing him in that Miami a little bit more than I like to see him in that Boston. I look at Boston, I'm like, okay, you can go to another big premier, top name team, top big city, big market, but other than they being the Warriors just trying to do something for their rebuild, I don't see.
Yeah, because what
you know what I mean? Because like, what are y'all gonna give to get Steph? And you got Steph, JT, and then who? I mean, you got a pretty good surrounding cast, but is that to where I'm confident that they're gonna go to the big show? Maybe. I think Celtics were a lot more scarier with that Jaylen Brown lineup. I mean, they've proven that they can win a championship with that lineup. You break that up. I'm looking at the lineup now. I said it before. They're just not scaring me. They're gonna have to prove it, but they're just not scaring me. I mean, I know JT's a certified bucket, but everybody got a certified bucket on their team. What you got else other than that? PG, we'll see. PG is going to have to play. The same thing where everywhere he's went, they gave up a lot. Come down to him. When he was at the Clippers, he's going to have to play big. When he was at the Sixers, they needed him to play big. So they got him again for him to play big. We'll see what he do. But, I mean, it's good speculation. It's good for basketball. That Miami lineup was pretty nasty, though, with him, Bam, and Giannis. I was like, oh, and Wiggins. I said, oh, but we do want to go and win a championship, in the same city that LeBron won. And I was like, I don't know if that's necessarily like
and Klay
legacy play thing to do right then. I seen Klay might go to man. Like I was like, whoa, now that's got me excited. Boston doesn't excite me. Miami excites me, but once again, I think he's a Golden State boy. He's been there 17 years. He's not going to want to leave. I don't know what they do with him. But it's got me curious. New Orleans actually got a pretty doggone good roster. I just pulled it up.
They do, but it's just like, but like, what the heck is going on out there in New Orleans?
I don't know. But maybe they sitting pretty. Maybe they're like, hey, we want to run it healthy. They probably want to see what this looks like healthy on the court, and I can't get mad at it. I mean, I give you three big names right now. You got Zion,
Trey Murphy, don't you?
You got Zion. You got why is he not on here? No, you got Zion, you got Trey, who's a 20-point scorer, and you forget about DeJounte Murray's out there.
Yeah.
I forget about DeJounte Murray. They still got Poole. They got a seven footer.
DeJounte Murray did good out there, didn't he?
Herbert Jones can ball. Jeremiah Fears is a pretty good up and coming young talent. I mean, if they're healthy, I don't know. They're a bunch of guys. We'll see how they gel together. But if they're healthy and they can actually have some good chemistry, they're not really a team you want to run up and down with.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy, yes, but chemistry too. I mean, everyone has to be healthy, but chemistry, does it all fit? Because I think that Trey Murphy was once upon a time getting shopped around a little bit. You know what I mean? I think Herbert Jones did too. So it's just about just having that true leader on that squad. But I'm still surprised that no one has knocked on the door for Zion. That's just the thing. Like, I was thinking maybe Boston would knock on the door for Zion.
Now that would be something.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they need a little something.
You need a little something. You need a little
Boston
bit
need a little something.
Little something.
Just a little something.
I like Steph, but it ain't enough.
Yeah.
I like Steph, but it's not enough. That's going to get you, not because Steph's not enough, it's just that what the defensive side that JB provided for them.
Absolutely.
When he was there, I was like, with Steph, that's going to give you 4th seed.
Right.
In the East. Because the East is strong now. Not like the East is quote unquote weak like it used to be in the years. No, there's a lot of good teams out there. When you think about Philly now, even though it's on paper, so they still are having to prove themselves. Got the New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, Cavs still ain't gone nowhere. You got the up and coming Orlando Magic.
Yep.
It's going to get a little bit stronger. That's already 5 right there. You got the Atlanta Hawks who's been trying to do a few things this offseason as well. And then I'll throw in one more that I'm missing. Huh?
Washington coming on up.
Washington's in the East?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. So you got Washington. I forgot that. Washington is in the East. You got Washington. I didn't say Miami.
Got Miami.
Come on, man. So that's 8. That's already a playoff 8. So it's like you just don't know what you're going to get. That's where health is going to come in the East. And then may the best team win because there's just a lot of good teams. And the thing is, these are young teams that just kind of put themselves together. So trying to play veteran ball, it's going to be too tough.
It's almost too tough.
Yeah,
and you got to be deep because people are going to get hurt. 83 games is a long season. I don't know if JT makes it all the way through that without having some tightness, soreness, setbacks to where he's going to need a little time off. That's just natural. Embiid's going to need time off. Like, guys going to need time off. If you're not deep, like Philly, deep like New York, deep to where a guy can take some time off and y'all can still be dominant. In today's game, right, 2026, 2027, I don't know if it's enough. I think these deep teams are going to reign again. You know, the OKCs, the Phillies, the New Yorks, these teams are deep, like Denver was originally. They're going to reign again, and then people are going to continue to retool. But right now, you got to be solid 1 through 4. Honestly, you only got room for one gap on your team. I think that's what we're looking at Boston. It's a couple little gaps, not big gaps. There's good talent there. Like Peyton Pritchard's good. White is good. We get it. But we're just saying as far as taking it the distance.
You need a solid 3 that can cover 1 through 3.
Mm-hmm.
A solid 3 that can cover 1 through 3. Jaylen Brown is pretty much a 2-3, but he can cover 1 through 3. Maybe sometimes even 4 on a good day. And so that's just a big piece that you're taking. It's kind of like whenever Golden State had Andre Iguodala. You take Dre off of there, Andre Iguodala off that squad, whenever they played, I think it was Cleveland at the time they played. But if you take him off the squad, it makes a big difference.
Oh, big difference.
Makes a big difference, bro.
That's why you got the MVP.
Yes.
For how much impact he really had.
Yeah, bro. It just like Jaylen Brown. Whenever they won, it's like, man, I thought JT was going to get it, man. Did you see everything JB was doing? So you're taking that big chunk off of there. They got a lot of work to do, and I think Brad Stevens knows that. That's part of the reason why he's trying to go get Steph. Trying to go get Steph, dog.
Top of the morning to you, big dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. Absolutely, man.
Let's talk about those Cleveland Browns, bro.
Let's talk about it.
Man, you know, first, I'm going to say something. I'm proud that Deshaun Watson's healthy.
I am too.
I really am, because I can imagine going through those injuries, going through different emotional turbulence outside of football. You're trying to get yourself together. You get yourself together, and now you're back playing. But the timing of things right now between him and Shedeur is really weird. It's really weird right now because last year, I truly feel like Shedeur got sabotaged. Now, was he going to sit here and run his mouth that he got sabotaged? Not at all, because he's a professional.
Right.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Going into the season, it has been literally during training camp, Shedeur and Deshaun, exchanging first team reps, right? And then, the other day, it was supposed to be Shedeur's turn. It's supposed to be Shedeur's turn. And, Todd Monken, right before practice was about to start, he was like, hey, man, Sean going to be taking the one. Now, the word on the street is Shedeur has been, his body language was pretty hot all practice. But I'm sure it was. Because if you promise to be able to get these starting reps and you've been on a hot streak, and all of a sudden you get the rug yanked up out of you, that would make anybody who has momentum hot. Now, I've been hearing a lot of reports they've been trying to build Deshaun Watson's confidence up. The thing that's tough about Shedeur is he's in a lose-lose situation unless he is flawless. And the reason why is this. You have a $200 million+ quarterback that has not really been used, that the franchise is invested in. And it's hard, and I can imagine it's hard for a franchise to be like, man, that's just money we wasted. We got our franchise quarterback now in Shedeur. It's like, no, hell no. We're going to see what you got all the way to the T. We got to make sure to see what you got, because the thing is even if we can get a year out of you, a year is better than no years. I think he signed like a 5-year contract with Cleveland, talking about Deshaun. And so I'm looking at Shedeur in this situation. I'm like, man, Shedeur can play flawless, but at the same time, it's almost like they playing a game with him where it's like, hey, we're going to use you for ticket sales. We're going to use you for clickbait. We're going to use you to market our franchise. But when it comes to starting, unless Deshaun Watson just magically just got hurt, and I don't want him to do that, but if it was something like that, that's the only way Shedeur's going to see the field. So it's literally like they repeating these toxic patterns for next year, for the draft. It's like, what do you mean? They're going to allow for Deshaun to play 6-7 games, and as soon as he doesn't get it done, or if he doesn't get done, they're like, oh, okay, bet. Shedeur, it's your turn. So now, they get the clickbaits and Shedeur's fans, they get all involved, and it looks like, Cleveland got something going on. But they always give the keys to Shedeur. It seems like, I know it's only second year, but it seems like everybody do the same thing. They're going to give him the keys to the franchise whenever they get out of playoff contention. You get out of playoff reach, and now you're going to give him the keys, and now you expect him to create a miracle in order for them to get into the playoffs. Well, they know this in the NFL. 99.9% of the time, if you lose 6-7 games at the beginning of the year, your playoff chances is pretty much done. There's a few teams that can go on the streak, but those are teams that are used to winning. If you're used to losing, then you're going to have a loser's mentality. And so if it starts off that way with Cleveland, it's going to pretty much end that way with, granted, maybe a couple of games where they end up winning. But what does that mean? You still going to be a top 3 franchise in the NFL draft. So what does the narrative turn into? Well, it's going to naturally turn into, you got all these good quarterbacks coming out of college. You got Dante Moore from Oregon. I think his name is Dante Moore. But you got Moore from Oregon. You got Julian Sayin from Ohio State. You got Arch Manning from Texas. You see what I'm saying? You got Sam Levitt from LSU. It doesn't stop, bro. You got old boy that transferred from Duke that's out there in Miami with the Miami Hurricanes. You know what I mean? You got all these different quarterbacks that are coming out. So now Cleveland is like, oh, well, shoot, we're going to get our franchise quarterback next year. So here's my thing. If that's the case, why are they holding Shedeur hostage and not trade him? It's almost like they don't want to trade him because of the fact that they don't want nobody else to get him and to make it look like as if they didn't do their job. It's almost like they're slowly trying to Kaepernick Shedeur. I don't think God's going to allow for that to happen. But it seems like they're trying their best, because how can a person overachieve and work their tail off in practice and film and even try to get their 4th-string quarterback better by staying after practice to help him with his playbook, to help him with his mechanics, help with his throws, work in the community. You know what I mean? You are building familyhood within the Cleveland community at that. How do you have a quarterback like that who actually can throw the football, who obviously knows the offense really well, and you sit it on the bench? I don't get it. So it's funny because I was looking at this morning, Shore getting all the reps. He went, so after they put up their QB tracker today, he was 16 of 23, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then Deshaun was 15 of 22, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, even though he had the starters, it still was split up. See what I'm saying? Because the other day, whenever Deshaun ended up getting all those starter reps, he got all of them. Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel split the 2s. And I'll just be thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, if Deshaun is your guy, roll with him. Roll with him. Dylan Gabriel's your backup. Trade Shedeur to, like, freaking San Francisco or New York Jets. But I hate to see a situation like that where he is pretty much just stuck like Chuck. He has to be absolutely flawless, because one thing that you can't ignore, and watching the highlights today, he dang near was flawless despite going 16-23. I mean, he looked flawless, and what I'm talking about is getting the ball out of his hands quick, ball placement, some things you just can't teach. And they know it. I heard one of the Cleveland analysts, and they was just saying how, yesterday was nothing against Shedeur. It had everything to do with trying to build Deshaun Watson's confidence up, because he's been seeing Shedeur show out. And I remember there was a day where Deshaun threw like 6-7 touchdowns. But guess what? They were all in the red zone. It was just red zone play. You can throw 20 in the red zone. You see what I'm trying to say? But it's just crazy. It's just crazy the way things are in Cleveland. And the thing is you got all that young talent. You got Harold Fanning. You got Quinshawn Judkins. You know what I mean? You got your boy Denzel Boston. You got KC Concepcion. You got Gage Laverdale. You got Isaiah Bond, bro. They got a lot of, and they got Carson Swishinger, who's going to be probably top 5 linebacker going into this season. He was the number 1 rookie linebacker last year. You have a lot of great players in position, young players. You would just think that having a diamond in the rough, only because he went 5th round in Shedeur Sanders, a diamond in the rough sitting in your backyard, that you wouldn't try to build around that. I don't know. I just find that very crazy right now. And I'm very curious to see how it's going to happen, what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Well, why you say that? Well, Chicago's up first. They got to play Chicago. They play Chicago in a preseason game. But I think it's away. And I think that's the game that Deshaun will probably end up starting. And then they're going to have Shedeur start the first preseason game at home. You know why? So the way them fans ain't booing.
I mean, yeah, it's a loaded situation out there in Cleveland. I think it's inevitable. I mean, we saw what Shedeur did. I mean, like we say, we always talk about him and the adversity that he's facing. He has faced adversity the majority of his football career, so it's nothing new. But I think they're in a very challenging position because they do have so much money invested in the potential of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
In his potential. He hasn't necessarily shown it, right? He hasn't really gave them a return on that investment. And so they're trying to give him as much opportunity to get as much juice out of that squeeze as possible. And I can't fault him for it, because as a veteran quarterback, he's kind of in the last window of time to where you can maybe get optimal performance out of him winning football. And if you got that on your roster, let's see what we got. You know what I mean? Let's put it on the road. We got a couple of nice vehicles. We invested in a good backup plan, a young gunner that we think can do it. I think Todd Monken has vocalized enough how he feels about Shedeur to where it gives me confidence that I think he's going to get a better opportunity than he did last year. And to me, that's all I can look for. I mean, he's a young quarterback, coming into his second year. For you to be able to make an impact on the field last year with limited opportunity. Now you're in a position to where you did get the opportunity to practice with the ones throughout the offseason. You did get the opportunity to really have build chemistry with the team to where they rally behind you and they're taking your leadership. So he's in a much better place than he was last year, to where they were just throwing him out on the field. And so, not to say I agree or disagree with what they're doing with Deshaun or trying to give him opportunities, but I look at it as like it's inevitable. Shedeur is a great talent, and I think that if they give Deshaun the opportunity to go out there and play ball, if that doesn't result in some W's, I don't think it's a long leash they're going to have him on. I think it's, hey man, it's your opportunity. We want the best out of you. Show us so we can give you this opportunity, right? Because he got time to develop. Shedeur got time to be groomed, right? You think, anyways. You don't really have a lot of time, and especially if somebody's earned the opportunity to come in and start, go ahead and give it to him so he can develop that much faster and really take that football team to the next level. And I think it's important to start a guy, right, and build that chemistry, develop that timing, give him that confidence, let him learn from his mistakes early in the season so that you can capitalize on those lessons at the back end. That's what really helps you propel to the playoffs. But this is a very, very tough sport. You're going to get banged up better than bruised. We haven't seen Deshaun Watson making through a season healthy yet. And I'm not calling out anything on the brother, but what I'm saying is this is a very challenging sport. And so it's nice to be too deep. Whether that means you start with Shedeur and you got Deshaun as the backup, you start with Deshaun and if something happens, you got Shedeur as the backup. Long story short, I think either way it goes, Shedeur is going to be all right. I think he's going to be all right either way. As soon as he gets the opportunity to step on that field, it's going to organically open up the opportunity, whether they give it to him or whether it just happens through, just circumstances of the sport, through injuries and stuff like that. I think he's going to get his opportunity. I was looking at the article right here about Todd Monken. He was kind of saying that somebody pulled him aside and just highlighted that Shedeur has kind of been dominating the ones, right? The plays with the ones. And so I think that decision to go ahead and give Deshaun the opportunity was like just to even the playing field. Like, we want to still give y'all even go at this, even sample size, so we can really understand when we're making this decision definitively, apples to apples comparison. You know what I'm saying? And I can dig that, okay. But what I know for sure is out of all of this money they spending and all this talent they got, I don't think they're playing around. I think the politics are a little bit less than they were. Politics are politics. They're always in the sport, but I think they're a little bit less than they were last year. So I think you get out there and you get whoever's behind it, get to messing around, and that don't result in some W's, especially with all of the talent surrounding them. I think the right man for the job is going to get the job very quickly. And it's just going to be up to whoever that is to prove it. I mean, you believe it's Shedeur. And, if Deshaun can get it done, good for him, because I'd like to see that brother shine too. But either way it go, I think it's going to balance itself out and level set at some point in time.
Yeah,
it has to.
It has to, though. Yeah.